Hello guys, Stone here. Today I've got the UMi London, the $70 smartphone king from China. Could that be the poor man's Galaxy? Let's find out. Only sponsored by my wallet. Of course guys, I bought the phone myself, so expect nothing but the truth over here. We're gonna do a quick unboxing, but before that let's just quickly get the specifications out of the way first. So I bought the golden color because I like it more, but they've got the white and the black version as well. Now we are dealing with MediaTek processor clocked at 1.3 GHz, that's a quad-core processor. You've got 1 GB of RAM, 8 GB of storage, 2 slots for SIM cards, 1 slot for micro SD card, 2050 milliamp hours battery, 5-inch 720p LCD screen made by Sharp. You've got an 8 megapixel rear facing camera made by Sony, 2 megapixel front facing camera made by no one really knows by who, and also that's not a 4G phone, so keep that in mind. Now let's get the unboxing out of the way first. Nice little box over here, the usual boxing shit, link to the world, okay, whatever. Now that's the phone. We're gonna put it on the side for a second, and the packaging is pretty modest. I mean, you've got a cable and you've got a power brick, which is, let's see, 1 amp of output. In other words, this phone doesn't support quick charge, but I would say that the charging times are pretty decent. In half an hour I managed to get 30%, in 1 hour 60%, and a full charge took 2 hours, which is quite decent for a budget phone. I said that it's a poor man's Galaxy S7 simply because the design reminds of the Galaxy quite a lot. Now you've got a really nice plastic back over here. The sides are metal, but keep one thing in mind, it's not the metal which is found in the Galaxy series, because the other one is more like aluminum. This one is more like metal. I mean, it's very strong and it's cold to the touch, which I personally like. Now on this side you've got nothing. On this side you've got the power button and you've got the volume rocker here. I really like the positioning of the buttons because they're quite handy. As you can see over here, I have medium hands, I would say, so they fit quite well. You've got 3.5mm jack, can you imagine? Charging port here on the bottom. You've got the microphone and the speaker. It's a single speaker which is mono, unfortunately. Now the back cover is very easily accessible and of course replaceable. You just have to pry it off with your fingers. Nails. Now there's the battery, 1 SIM card slot, 2nd SIM card slot, and a micro SD SIM card slot. Now I'm very pleased with the design of that because it's not a hybrid slot. You can use 2 SIM cards plus a micro SD card over here. Now the plastic is a little bit on the cheap side, but you know what, at this price point I'm overly quite satisfied about that. Now, one more thing I want to mention. UMi claims that they're using the dual something protection on the screen. Basically, your screen should be more durable than the regular phones. And you can already see that the phone is a little bit heavier than expected. And combined with this nice metal over here, it makes it very nice and durable. It almost feels like you're gonna destroy another phone if you hit it like that. So now, what can I say about the design? I really like it. The form factor is quite good. You've got chamfered edges over here on the metal, and you've got this 2.5D glass, which is very slightly curved over here. The screen protector came with the phone, by the way, so I'm really surprised by that. So how we gonna do this review? We're gonna go through the display, we're gonna go through the sound, we're gonna check the performance, we're gonna check the camera. I've got something very interesting to tell you about the camera, and after that we're gonna just finish that review. It's not gonna take long, but just stay with me, guys. So now let's power up the phone. Oh, by the way, you've got double tap to wake, which is quite nice. Not a lot of phones have that. Now the look of the phone is pretty nice and clean. If you go into the icons here, you can see that there's almost no bloatware inside. Actually, the couple of applications that you see that are a little bit different, I've installed them, which I'm going to talk about a little bit later on in the review. So overall, very, very clean and minimalistic Android feel of the phone. Definitely kudos to UMi about that. Now, two things I want to mention quickly here. Over here, you've got a hidden notification LED, which lights only on a red color and green color. Green color is when the phone is completely charged, and red color for any other notifications. I couldn't find any way to change the behavior of this notification LED, and the colors are just these two. Another thing which I've noticed is that you've got no backlight on the buttons over here, and they could be a little bit small, to be honest with you, especially when you use the phone in nighttime. It could be a little bit frustrating. You sometimes hit here, you hit here. I mean, they could have done that, but anyway, that's just a small gripe. Now, what can I say about the screen? They said that it's a sharp 720p screen, and I would say that it's a pretty good screen. They didn't save tons of money producing that screen. The viewing angles are quite good, as you can see over here. The display itself is very contrasty. It has very high contrast. It has very good brightness as well. As you can see now, the brightness is on the middle. You can crank it all the way up, but keep in mind, all the way up like that is not that bright, but keeping it like 50% is completely usable and saves a little bit of the battery. About the sunlight visibility, I would say that it's quite nice for an IPS screen. Even in bright sunlight, you're able to see everything on the screen without any problem here. Now, one thing which is interesting about the screen, let me just show you quickly. When you go to display, you have adaptive brightness. Here you have mirror vision. Now that thing allows you to set different modes of the screen. You've got standard, vivid, or you've got user mode where you can tweak the settings yourself. I keep it on standard because the contrast is already way too boosted and the saturation is a little bit boosted as well, so that works for me quite well. As I can see that it's a little bit bright, so I'm gonna reduce the brightness. Oh, okay, so I'm gonna reduce it like that. So basically I'm quite happy with the screen. The screen is quite alright. Let's jump to the sound, and there's one thing I wanna talk about over here. Let's check the sound quickly. All the way up. Check this out. I mean, the sound is, how can I put it? It's nothing to talk about really. It's okay, it gets the job done. The volume of the sound is boosted a little bit when the ringtone is triggered, but for medic consumption, it's not very good, to be honest with you. Yes, I understand that it's a single mono speaker, but still the sound quality is a little bit disappointing. When you plug a pair of headphones into the headphone jack, the output is how can I put it? It's really not good. I mean, you've got a little bit of bass, but the mids are quite bad, and the overall volume is really not enough. So I would say that the headphone output is quite bad, unfortunately. Now, one more thing I want to squeeze very quickly is the vibration of that phone. I mean, because it's a toughened phone, the glass is double, the sides are metal, and the overall weight is a little bit heavier than your usual phone. The vibration is a little bit on the weak side. Quite often I'm missing calls, so just keep that in mind. Now, when it comes to performance, day-to-day tasks like going through the menu and, going to settings and browsing some stuff is quite alright, it's fine. The RAM management is considering that you've got only 1 gig of RAM over here, is quite alright. I would say. It doesn't keep too many applications running at the background. I mean, it keeps them running at the background, but once you switch the screen off and you keep it off for like a minute or so, it kills absolutely everything, which is not a huge deal for me. I would say it is alright. But where the performance lags is when gaming. I mean, I play Mortal Kombat most of the time, and you can see what are the loading times, which are absolutely ridiculous. I mean, it takes an enormous amount of time to load the game, and that's because I can imagine of the cheap memory that they've used inside. Now, the phone of course plays just casual, non-demanding games quite alright actually, but when you play something like real racing, like Mortal Kombat, is just, you can see that it struggles. But I mean, for $60, did you really expect a flagship level of gaming? So the performance, I would say, is fine for day-to-day tasks, but it kind of sucks when gaming. Now I'm just gonna wait for the game to boot up to show you guys what I'm talking about. And in the meantime, I can say about the battery life. Now the battery life is, how can I put it, 2000 milliamp hour battery life. You don't expect miracles from this battery. I've used the phone for both Bluetooth only in my car and for my main phone. Now, as a main phone, I can't get more than 2 hours of screen on time, to be honest with you. And when I use it for Bluetooth only, it lasted for 3 days. Now I had the LG G4 before, and it lasted 3 days as well. So I would say that the battery life is more or less like the LG G4. I mean, it gets the job done, but really, if you're a heavy user, you should look elsewhere. Now, as you can see, the loading times, we are still waiting for the game to load, which is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, let me check. Wi-Fi is on. Oh man. Oh yes, yes, yes. Finally. We're getting there. We're getting there. Now, one thing I should mention as well, when installing apps, Google Play Games, blah blah blah, I'm not going to install that. When installing apps, this is quite a big game. It's 1.5 gigs of game. Uh, it it took quite a lot of time to download and install the game, but the problem is that it drained almost 15% of my battery to do that. So when there's an installation going on, the loading times are absolutely ridiculous. The installation times are pretty bad. So keep that in mind, that it kind of sucks. Now you can, I'm not really sure if you can see, but but it's already a little bit choppy and you can see a little bit of frame drops. So let's just play up a little bit and you can see how the Scorpion moves. I mean, it's a little bit choppy and the movement is a little bit, I mean, not very good. The game is playable, but I'm not really sure how you're gonna enjoy that, to be honest with you. Now let's see. Yes, so that's about it about the gaming, guys. Now let me tell you something else. Let's talk about the camera a little bit. Now, the front-facing camera, we will go through our review treatment first. And as you can see from this photo, guys, we've got totally no dynamic range. My hair has blended with the roof over here. And as you can see, there's totally no detail in that photo. So it looks quite blunt and looks quite bad. But still, I mean, the camera is there, you can use it for whatever you like. Now, the default camera application of this phone is quite bad, to be honest with you. I've took a couple of photos, and they're kind of bad. I mean, you can see the nighttime, especially the nighttime, the results are pretty much disappointing. When you zoom in, you can see, I'm not sure, let me just do that. I'm not sure what you can see here, but there's pretty much a lot of artifacts going on, and the photo is just, I mean, you have this glare here. It's just not nice. Something else, during the day I was quite happy with the camera, to be honest with you. In good lighting it takes good photos, but one more thing I've noticed is that the red pretty much fucked up. I'm not sure how well you can see over here. Oh yeah, now you can see the reds are kind of over sharpened, and I really don't know what's going on. But overall, the camera quality is good during the daylight. Now, one thing which is very strange to me is that the video capabilities of this phone are limited to 720p by this default application, which is absolutely ridiculous. Now you don't have optical image stabilization, but you have a software stabilization. Let me just play a video for you. UMi London video capabilities, but this time I have the electronical image stabilization that UMi London is offering. It doesn't have the optical image stabilization, but at least a digital one. So let's see how it does. It looks okay on the screen, but let's see how it's gonna process it after I stop the video. Now the video is quite bad. 720p, the optimization is not good, is disastrous. However, I found out something else. You can jump in and download Open Camera. That's a free application which improves the photo and video quality quite a lot. The photos look way better, less noise, and the video now is 1080p. The difference is not night and day, but still is a lot better than the stock video application. Now I really recommend this app because, as you can see, you can open up the camera here, and you can see that the camera is definitely capable of taking more and higher quality photos with this camera. It's a Sony sensor, so as you can see, in perfect lighting conditions, the level of detail is quite alright actually. And let's see another photo. That's the same photo which I took with the regular camera. The photo looks overall better, but the problem with the reds over here where the flower is, as you can see, is still there. Now when you go nighttime, this picture is a little bit better than the one we had before. It's still not very nice, but anyway, oops, let me just come back to the gallery. Now, as you can see, daylight, this nice Lambo here, the level of detail is quite satisfying, to be honest with you. I mean, for 60 bucks, you can't really expect more from that camera. That's another video that I took. Just have a quick look. That's 1080p. Okay, guys, just a quick video test to see how that camera does, especially the stabilization, because the resolution is Full HD. That's alright. Now the stabilization works a little bit better with the Open Camera app, and as I said already, the overall level of detail is better. Now, one thing left just to be mentioned is that by default, when you press this button, it's like you've pressed the options button, you know, the three dots over here, which is quite awkward for me. That's why I've downloaded all-in-one gestures. Now that's a free application from the Play Store, and you can program which button does what. It doesn't require root and is very handy. So basically what I did was menu button, single tap, recent apps. So basically when you press it, it activates the multitasking menu, which is the way it should be, not the other way around. So you can tweak the buttons as you like, you can activate gestures and all of that. So basically, if you install that, if you install the Open Camera, you're pretty much sorted with the software. Now another thing, there is already a root available. I'm the only one with a video on the internet now for a root of this phone in English. It's not very hard. You can see the link in the description down below, how to root UMi London. Let me just quickly show you that the phone is actually rooted. See, congratulations, blah blah blah. So the phone is rooted, and that's it. So let's how are we gonna sum up this video? As I said again, it's a poor man's it's the poor man's Galaxy S7 because it's very nice. It doesn't bend, as you can see over here. Check this out. I mean, I'm flexing it at the moment, but it doesn't want to move at all. So it's very hard, very sturdy phone, really nice metal feeling, very comfortable in the hand, especially the button placement. The display is quite alright, is very contrasty, is very saturated. I really like the screen. The front camera is bullshit. The rear camera could be nice if you download a different camera applications, because the default one sucks. Now the speaker, as I said, is a mono speaker. It's not very good. The headphone output is pretty bad, to be honest with you. The battery life is, I would say, average, so you have to decide for yourself, is this phone for you guys? But I would say that if you're a heavy user, not exactly, this phone is not for yourself. But if you need a nice cheap budget phone which looks quite nice, yeah, this phone is pretty good for your kids, for your grandpa, for your second phone. This phone is absolutely amazing, and I can definitely recommend that. Now you can find it online for about 60 bucks. I think on Amazon it's a little bit more expensive, like 5 or 10 bucks, something like that, but at least you've got the Amazon unbeatable, customer service. So you can check the link down below. I really like this phone, and overall for the money, I mean, again, 60 bucks, you're getting quite a lot of bang for your buck. So thank you very much for watching, guys. Follow me on the social media. I've got a lot of new videos coming out. I just don't have enough time to make all of them at the moment, because all the preparations and all the stuff, quite a lot of time. But that's what you can expect from my channel, guys. You can expect straight, honest videos based only on my experience, not on hype, not on, on the paid reviews. So hit the thumbs up button if you like my video, subscribe to my channel as well. As I said, I've got a bunch of videos coming up, and I will be releasing a video, let's say once in 2 weeks, something like that. If I can, I'm gonna release more. If I can't, I'm gonna try my best. So again, thank you very much for watching, guys, and see you in the next one. Cheers.